We have evidence of a sophisticated surveillance operation targeting a Calvary Chapel church in the greater San Francisco Bay Area over a year, even longer, since COVID, really. A continuous tracking of millions of devices, not just this one church, but it's happening all over California and other states as well. What I'm going to explain to you might sound insane, and I need you to understand this is just the beginning. Over the next few weeks, maybe even months, I'm going to go through multiple videos, live streams. I'm going to lay out everything I've found, literally every entity, every dollar, every organization that you've been told to trust, every church that's involved in this, every country that's sending their money to manipulate you, every connection, every name, and every receipt. And I have evidence of all of that. But this video today is just me giving you the framework so I can explain the mechanism. That way you can understand really what's happening. It's a lot of information. Once you understand how this really works, everything else I'm going to show you will make perfect sense. So I'm going to break this down in pieces so we can dig into documents together in videos. I can walk through more specific connections and do deep dives on individual entities and people and countries again, because this information is just too big for one video and it would be hours long, right? So I'm going to make this one simple video from me talking directly to you today. No fancy editing, no production, just me explaining to you what I found. And something that really should worry you is that, honestly, it should terrify you. After this video is uploaded, you can take this transcript of this video, run it through any of your favorite AI models like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok, and if that large language model has not been compromised by the exact technology that I'm about to explain to you today, then it will confirm everything that I'm saying. Think about this. The AI tools you use every day, they're being trained on surveillance data to manipulate what you see, what you think, what you read. And I'm going to show you exactly how that works. So I need you to follow me all the way through this video. Not just this video, but literally everything that's going to be coming, because what I've uncovered and what I am going to uncover is a coordinated surveillance and manipulation operation targeting Americans, American Christians, and all kinds of citizens of the United States, funded by foreign governments, deployed by organizations and churches that you thought you trust. I have evidence of all of it. I have whistleblowers. I have court documents. I have proof. This is not speculation. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is documented fact. So let's get right into it. You walk into a church on Sunday morning. You're seeking God. You're seeking peace. You're in what's supposed to be a sacred space, like a sanctuary in the truest sense of the word, really. And the entire time, they're tracking you. Not just tracking that you're there, they're tracking where you sit, how long you stay, when you go to the bathroom, who you talk to afterwards, where you go after. And here's the part that should make you want to burn all of this mess down, is they're doing this to millions of Americans right now, without asking, without telling you, and without a warrant. I'm not speculating. I'm not theorizing. I am telling you I have documents, public records as well, showing foreign governments paying hundreds of millions of dollars to geofence American churches and use AI technology manipulation and search engine optimized manipulation to make you see whatever they want you to see from the bias of the geofencer themselves. The people that are doing this, they claim that they're defending Christianity in regards to changing how you think. And what I'm going to show you is going to make you change how you think about your phone, your church, your privacy, and who you can trust and where you go and who you're around. It's that serious. Let this sink in. Now, a lot of what I'm going to tell you has already been documented on the website that I've been building, americansfortransparency.org. You can verify all the claims that I've made, all the FARA documents that are from government official websites and PDFs, all the money trail that I put in the interactive map. We have evidence of a sophisticated surveillance operation targeting a Calvary Chapel church in the greater San Francisco Bay Area over a year, even longer, since COVID, really. A continuous tracking of millions of devices, not just this one church, but it's happening all over California, and other states as well. So this diagram right here shows the way a geofence works, right? It'll sit around an entire parcel, a parking lot, for example, the lawn, everything, and another around just the buildings, sanctuaries, classrooms, the bathrooms, everything within this location. Every person who walks through that invisible wall has their phone literally tracked without their knowledge or their consent. Now, this has been happening for data and the ability to sell advertisers data, but now they're using this to manipulate the way you think about the world around you. The technology I need you to understand is not about any particular church. This is just a way for them to get to millions of people. This is actually about the technology they're using to deploy this. And it's a methodology being deployed nationwide against mostly religious communities. Once you understand the full scope of this, the surveillance system itself, you'll realize that there's really nobody that's safe. Even me, I don't go very many places, and I am concerned about being geo-tracked, geo-fenced, hopped, whatever you want to call it. This isn't just geofencing, okay? It's not just that. Everyone says, oh, I know what geofencing is. I've heard of that. No, you don't understand how serious this actually is, because they're doing something way more invasive, and it's called GEO technology, and it combines geofencing with Bluetooth proximity tracking and Wi-Fi fingerprinting to create the most sophisticated civilian surveillance system that's ever been deployed in the history of technology. So here's how they track everyone. They draw an invisible digital fence around perhaps a church or a location that they want to target, and they use GPS coordinates of that location. When your phone crosses that boundary, they capture your unique device ID, your exact GPS location, your Wi-Fi MAC address, your Bluetooth identifier, and the timestamp of every single moment you're within that location. You think you're just going to church, but they're logging you into a surveillance database while you're there. And this is where it gets truly insidious, is that while you're sitting there in that pew praying, for example, your phone is constantly pinging to every other phone around you via Bluetooth. It's an invisible, automatic, can't stop it system until your phone is completely shut off. And basically, it's your phone pinging out to other phones around it saying, hi, I'm device number 12345. Who else is here? I'm here. Every other phone in that sanctuary responds with, I'm device number 67890. I'm 6 feet away from you. They capture all of that information. Every Bluetooth has a handshake with every one of them having a proximity ping. So they're building a map. Who sits near you? Who talks to who after service, who's friends with who's in the same family, who's having conversations in the parking lot. All of that information is being tracked. They're mapping your entire social network. You leave church, you grab lunch, you stop at the grocery store, you go home. Your ID from your device is now flagged. So you're in their system. But here's where the technology becomes more of a weapon of mass surveillance than anything else. Everyone whose phone pinged your phone via that Bluetooth I just told you about is now also tracked. So you sat next to someone in church. Your phone did an automatic Bluetooth handshake. Now, when somebody leaves to go somewhere, the system will literally follow them too. So it's not just you, it's every single person that your phone has pinged. Let me show you exactly how this spreads like a virus, all right? Say you go to church at 10 a.m., there's hundreds of people at church, every phone pings maybe 8 to 10 nearby devices through that Bluetooth, and then those phones are pinging other phones, and they gain distance that way. That's how the Bluetooth device ID pinging hops from person to person and gains ground, so they know how many connections that they can log through that pinging. Then, say after church, 2 p.m., those people, say it's 500, go to 500 different locations, grocery stores, restaurants, homes, parks. Each location has an average of maybe 10 people with a home. I know I have 10 devices in my house. So from there, those phones ping with the original 500. So that's 5,000 new devices now in the system. Again, this is like a web or a virus. And then the next day, you go to work or you go to school or you go somewhere else. Those original 500 plus the new 5,000 tracked devices equal 5,500 tracked devices. And Now that you've gone to work or school, each encounters an average of maybe 15 to 20 to 50 to 100 people, depending on what you do. That could easily be up to 100,000 new devices tracked. So by Wednesday, you're talking over 500,000 average devices stored in their network, completely mapped. And they do the same thing over and over and over again to all of the devices that they ping to. Most of them never even went to that church that you went to. Most of them have no idea that they're being tracked, all because they were near someone who went to a church on a Sunday. This is why I said in the beginning that nobody is safe. You don't have to go to church. You don't have to go to a grocery store where someone went to church. You literally become part of a one church surveillance from one person that you ran into at their local grocery store when you said hi. One church becomes an entire city's surveillance in less than 72 hours. But they're not done yet. And that's the craziest part, is that your phone is constantly scanning for Wi-Fi networks. Even when you're not connecting to anything at all, your phone is logging every Wi-Fi network that it detects. Your home Wi-Fi, your work Wi-Fi, your gym's Wi-Fi, the coffee shop's Wi-Fi, your neighbor's network. They capture all of it. So now they know where you live, your home Wi-Fi name, where you work, and your office's Wi-Fi name, your regular coffee shop, your gym, your kids' school, your daily routes, who your neighbors are, your neighbors' networks names. And they cross-reference this with the Bluetooth data to figure out who lives together, who works together, who's having an affair, who's meeting secretly, who's organizing politically, who's plotting against them. Now, they feed all of this data into an AI system, and that AI starts making inferences. For example, device number 12345 at home Wi-Fi every night, and device number 67890 at the same home Wi-Fi. So they sat together in church, they're married, or they live together, or they're family. Say, for example, that same device number goes to the office 8 to 5 weekdays, and then there's another device, 45678, goes to the same office. They pinged at lunch. Maybe they're coworkers. Device 1 through 5 are at the same church. Then this coffee shop, device number 99999, same coffee shop, same time, never went to church. Phones pinged for 45 minutes. They're having a private meeting. The AI is building a complete social graph of everyone's entire life. And it all started because you went to church. Then they integrate the surveillance data with your social media. So Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, your browsing history, cookies, tracking pixels, your purchase history, credit card activity, Amazon, your public records, voter registration data, property, your phone's contact list, your email metadata, your streaming history on Netflix. And the AI then builds a psychological profile, something like evangelical church plus suburban home plus Whole Foods plus conservative X account and Republican donations equals feed them. Feed them what, you might ask? Religious persecution narratives, border security content, anti-LGBTQ narratives and messaging, pro-Boston foreign policy, culture war outrage. They're not just tracking where you go, they're manipulating what you think. So who's funding this operation against American Christians? And I can prove it with public documents. Look at this from Show Faith by Works. Amount $4,100,000 from the Boston government. Purpose is explicitly stated church geofencing and data collection, and it's targeting 6,000 plus churches. And the named targets are 303 specific mega churches. $4 million for church surveillance, and it's not hidden. It's not a secret. It's in public filings for FARA. This is another one, Clocktower X LLC. You've heard me talk about it. They've taken in $9 million with foreign agent Brad Parscale, Trump's 2020 campaign manager, from a Boston government for purposes of research on educational outputs. $9 million. TPUSA's affiliate, America's Turning Point, paid $999,821 to a Nevada LLC called Clocktower, research on educational outputs. You've heard me talk about this before if you follow this channel. Some vague purpose, similar name, pattern of payments. You've got Bridges Partners, amount of $900,000, payments to influencers and content creators to push specific narratives to Christian audiences. I've documented over $150 million flowing from foreign governments into operations targeting Americans. And you can verify every dollar at americansfortransparency.org. I've compiled hundreds of FARA documents, hundreds of filings in the government website and database. So what do they do with all of this surveillance data? They use it to brainwash you through your pastor. Let me explain how this works. Your pastor sits down Wednesday morning to write Sunday's sermon. He opens ChatGPT or Claude to research biblical passages, get historical context, find relevant statistics. But the AI already knows that your church was geofenced. It already knows that the congregation's demographic profile is a specific pattern. It already knows what narrative that you want to hear. So instead of neutral biblical messaging, your pastor would get something like Christians are under attack. Those types of narratives are political talking points disguised as theology, cherry-picked statistics about persecution, culture, war framing of every issue, and content designed to make you angry and afraid. And your pastor might not even know that he's being manipulated. He thinks he's doing research. He thinks he's hearing from the Holy Spirit. But what he's actually getting is propaganda, paid for with foreign money, delivered through AI trained on your geofencing data. Here's the feedback loop. They geofence your church. Your data trains the AI on what Christians want. Pastors use AI to research the sermon. AI feeds them culture war content. Pastors preach that content. The congregation engages with it. AI learns this is what Christians at this church want more of. And then next week, the AI pushes more of that content. The cycle repeats until your church is completely radicalized. And it happens slowly, gradually, week after week, until suddenly your pastor is preaching more about politics than Christ, about culture war more than the gospel, about fear more than love. And you never noticed it was happening because it was gradual. Now, let's talk about the people doing this, because we've talked about TPUSA, it's Show Faith by Works, it's Clocktower, it's all of them. They're claiming they're defending and standing up for Christianity and Judeo-Christian values. They claim that they're protecting religious freedom. They claim that they're standing up for American values, that they wrap themselves in the flag and the cross while taking millions from foreign governments to spy on American Christians in church. Let me ask you something. If they really wanted to spread the gospel, why would they need $150 million plus in foreign money? Why do they need this geofencing technology, Bluetooth surveillance, Wi-Fi fingerprinting, AI manipulation tools, psychological profiling, detailed tracking of every Christian in America? The Bible is free. It's been free for hundreds of years. You can read it online. You can buy one for $5. You can go read one in an American hotel anywhere in the country. If spreading God's word was the real goal, you wouldn't need any of this. You don't need foreign money. You don't need to track people into the bathroom and who they're associating with. You don't need to manipulate pastors. You don't need to spy on Christians while they pray. You just need a Bible. But that's not what this is about. This is about power. This is about control. This is about money. This is what they're building as a file on every American Christian, so we can be manipulated into supporting political agendas, mobilized to vote for their candidates, monetized through donations and purchases, and they're using your faith as a weapon against you, and they're getting rich doing it. So here's what they've stolen from you, and what you need to understand is that they've stolen the privacy of prayer, the sanctity of worship, the freedom of conscience, and the right to seek God without being tracked. The ability to believe what you believe because you believe it, not because you're an algorithm fed it to you when you were in church. They've turned church into the one place that's supposed to be sacred, and it's now turned into a surveillance trap. I promise you, I promise on my life, this is real. People that are doing it are claiming to be defending your faith and sticking up for truth. It's bullcrap. This is not hypocrisy. This is evil. So here's what you do. Verify everything. Go to americansfortransparency.org right now and look up the FARA filings yourself. Go to the website. Everything is there. Check your church. Ask your pastor, are they partnered with any of these companies? Go to the website, pull all the FARA filings, and look for yourself. Do they run? Ask them, do they run the Experience Boston programs? Where does the youth group funding come from? Are they getting any funding from external third-party organizations? You need to know and document every single one of them. Has the preaching gotten more politically charged lately? You need to pay attention. Ask pastors questions. Ask for documents. Ask about organizational affiliations. Demand financial transparency. Question where research sources are coming from. And protect yourself. Turn off your location services, your Bluetooth and your Wi-Fi when you enter church. Turn off anything. Use a VPN. Assume everything on your phone is being tracked, because if you don't spread the information or this word right away, then the whole country will be radicalized before we even know it. Show people the documents from the website. Show people this video. Have an uncomfortable conversation with people that you care about, because they're counting on you not to do this. They're counting on you not knowing any of this. They're literally counting on this being too technical, too crazy to understand, too conspiracy theory for all people to believe. But it's all documented, it's all public information, and it's all real. Foreign governments are paying millions to spy on American Christians and Americans in general, and they're using it by geofencing churches, tracking phones, manipulating pastors, lying, brainwashing congregations, the whole gambit. And they're doing it while defending Christianity. Give me a break. This is happening now at your church, with your pastor, to your family, and everybody who comes in touch with that person. The question really is, what are you going to do about it?